On. Climate change is bringing more rain and more hurricanes to many parts of the country, and communities are struggling to prepare for the devastating effects.
Local organizations in Louisiana are working to help underserved communities prep their towns for these major events before it's too late. Our own Angie Lassman got a look at this work on the ground, and she's back with us this morning. Angie, we love you bringing us a story. Hi.
Always here to help, especially when we're talking climate. Guys, in just 2 years, Louisiana has endured 3 major hurricanes, prompting communities to take a hands-on approach to confront the realities of worsening climate change. And one New Orleans neighborhood is proving that local mitigation efforts can not only help safeguard their communities, but also deliver positive impacts on the economy and mental health.
Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Laura, Hurricane Delta, and Hurricane Ida. 4 major hurricanes slamming the Louisiana coast, 3 in just a span of 2 years. These record-breaking storms forcing communities to adapt to the devastating effects of climate change.
Unfortunately, I think this is our new normal. The number of storms that we're seeing, and so it's more important than ever that we work with communities to help them better understand what their risk is.
In New Orleans' 9th Ward, a neighborhood ravaged by Hurricane Katrina, a grassroots effort known as Thrive is preparing underserved communities to combat climate change with their own 2 hands.
We are training people in the community. We are on the ground in the most vulnerable communities trying to serve and make sure they are resilient and sustainable.
And what are some of the challenges that New Orleans faces, both economically and then when you add climate change onto that?
We know that in the most affluent parts of New Orleans, it's probably 2 or 3 degrees cooler than it is in the less affluent parts of New Orleans. So that heat island effect is real. And we know that the stormwater management tools that we're implementing in the 9th Ward, many have already been implemented in some other parts of the city. So we're making sure we're taking those tools that are needed to be resilient and good stewards.
A major focus for the nonprofit is flood control, as climate change is increasing extreme rainfall events. Students learn to install permeable pavers to keep runoff to a minimum, along with other water mitigation practices. Chris Bell is a Thrive graduate and now owns a landscaping company focusing solely on green infrastructure.
What are we mixing, Chris?
We are mixing mortar.
What are we going to do with this mortar?
We're going to put this mortar into our footer, chain wall footer.
Okay.
That's going to hold all the water inside of the rain garden.
As I go from state to state and talk to these communities that have been impacted, we have to take it serious. We have to do our part now to make sure that future generations have a safe place to live.
Reggie Ferreira, director of the Resiliency Leadership Academy at Tulane University, says the impact on mental health is staggering and long-lasting.
These storms we experience here in Louisiana are quite devastating. We see impacts such as anxiety, depression, stress.
A recent study said the pain is felt globally. About 85% of the world's population is already feeling the effects of human-caused climate change. Everything from worsening storms to more frequent wildfires and heat-driven health issues.
We're seeing the impacts of these repetitive disasters we're experiencing in Louisiana, and there's also intergenerational trauma. And if it's not addressed, then the issues will just continue.
And when we spoke to officials up the chain from local to federal, they all highlighted the importance of partnering with local groups like Thrive to pull off community-specific mitigation efforts. Now, what projects work to keep the 9th Ward safe may not be a fit for, say, the Pacific Northwest, but mitigation projects not only keep communities safer, as you heard, they can also have major positive impacts on the economy and help with the mental toll and more intense disasters, which we know, guys, becomes more frequent as climate change continues to progress.
Absolutely. And the anxiety of not feeling protected at all. You can imagine what that does. So that's very cool.
Exactly.
Awesome.